Okay, so our first normal form is not going to be a new concept because we've been talking about this as we've taken our ERDs from the first basic communication tool into more correctness as we've been doing our enhanced ERDs and so on. So a relation is in the first normal form if and only if all attributes or columns store only one value, and all records have a primary key. So that means that A, your table needs to have a primary key, and B, it cannot be null. So what are instances where a column might have more than one value? The most common one you'll see is these multi-valued attributes, such as in this example of our dependents, and you can see that they have commas in it, and that's a really good indicator that there's multiple things going on. If your original data is in an Excel file, you might see where they actually use the enter and they have like line breaks inside of a cell, and it's like a tall cell. That'd be another clue for you to see. So here, if you have a multi-valued attribute, which when we first learned the ERDs, they're the ones that have the double lines around them. We need to actually break these up into two tables. So we have our employee table, which just has our employee information in it. And then we have our dependent table, which has the key and the dependent name separately. And so here we can see that our, there's two ways you could do it. You could have not put the dependent ID and just use a composite key of EID and RD name, but we do know that we actually like to have our own independent primary key here, so that's why I did. So we have our primary key, our foreign key, and the name. And this is a one-to-many, and it's going to be a weak relationship and all those things, but that's unrelated to the actual, just making sure that we break them down into two different tables because of those commas. The other kind of too much information in one cell that you might have is instead of being a multi-valued attribute, there's just too much information in one. It's something that can be broken down. So that might be something like having a name and their office location in a cell together, or like a phone number and office number in a cell. That might be more common, have those kind of things, because you think that they're connected, and so you put them together, but they really should be separated. And in that case, that's just a matter of adding a second attribute. And we saw that example before with like names, where you could have a full name, but it's probably more useful if you split them into like first name, middle initial, last name format. So you could search by last name or first name and not have to search by the entire thing all at once. So yeah, so they're both very easy to solve. We already know how to solve those. But you do need to have all of these resolved at this time if you hadn't gotten that done before.